7.3, multiplying powers with the same base. Okay, so this, when I'm talking about the same base, that means these 2's are the same here. So I'm going to write this problem a little bigger. Okay, so if I wanted to write this out the long way, it'd be 2 times 2 times 2 for that first one here, and then 2 times 2. Well, if I wanted to combine it to make the short way, well, there's 5 of them, so it's 2 to the 5th, right? So this, if I did it, it'd be 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times 2, which is 16, times 2, which is 32. Okay, if I plug 2 to the 5th in the calculator, I get 32 as well. Okay, so let's try this one. 4 squared times 4 to the 4th. Okay, so 4 squared is 4 times 4, and then 4 to the 4th is 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, which is, there's 6 of those, so it's 4 to the 6th. So what you notice is the rule for this, we're just going to, when we're multiplying things with the same base, we're going to add their exponents. So 2 plus 4 is then going to be 6. Okay, so if we're going to do this, it would be, we could guess, -1 plus 3 is going to be 6 squared. Okay, let's try it by writing it out the long way. So we know it's a -1, so that 6 has to come down, so we'd have 6 cubed over 6. Write this out the long way. Well, if we have 6 over 6, that should cancel, so we can cancel those out, which would be then 6 times 6, which is 6 squared. Okay, this one, -2 plus -4 is -6, so we'll have 7 to the -6, which we would then have to flip to the bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it again. So we're going to flip both of these to the bottom. So it's going to be 1 over 7 squared times 7 to the 4th. If we add them, it's 1, 7 to the 6th. So there's our answer. Okay, so when we multiply powers at the same base, we add their exponents. So again, my base in this is going to be a, my exponents are going to be m and n. Okay, so this one we're going to multiply the coefficients. So coefficients in this are going to be the numbers in front of the terms. So 3 times 2 is going to be 6 for this. And then we're going to add the things with the same base. So we're going to add the k's. So we're going to get k, 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, if we wanted to write it out the long way though, we could do 3 times k times k times k times 2 times k times k. Okay, so we're multiplying in between everything. That's why we're able to do the 3 times 2 to get our 6. And then there are 5 k's. That's how we got our k to the 5th. Okay, so this one we're going to see 7 times 2, and there's a 1 in front of that. So 7 times 2 times 1 is 14. And then we have 1m here and then an m here. So that's like saying it's m to the 1 right there. So we're going to do m to the 4 because we're adding them together, and then we still have our k squared. So I'm going to write it out the long way. 7 times m times m times m times 2 times k times k times m. Okay, so 7 times 2 gave us the 14. We're going to combine our like terms, so our m's. So that's m to the 4th because there's 4 m's. And then we still have our 2 k's. Okay, right, so this, if I wanted to write it out the long way this time, so we got 6 times n times -4 times n to the -3. Actually, instead of doing it this one the long way, we're going to do it the short way first again. So 6 times -4 should give me -24. And then we're going to add n squared and n to the -3, which should give us n to the -1. We've got to make sure we drop it. So it should be -24 over n. Okay, so now I'm going to write it out the long way. So we got 6 times n times -4 got to drop our n cubed. So it's going to be n times n times n in the bottom. Okay, so if they share, we can cross them out. So they share and they share. So we're going to get negative 24 over n. The reason we're able to cancel those out is because if we have n over n, that means the same thing as 1. So that's why they're able to cancel. It's the same thing as if we have 2 over 2. 2 divided by 2 is also 1. That's why we're able to cancel those out. Okay, so this is going to be my answer right here. Okay, so this one, we got negative 8 and a negative here, so we're going to get positive because negative times a negative is a positive. And then it looks like we have this m and this m, so negative 3 plus negative 4 is going to give us negative 7. Then we still have that n cubed. So we got to go ahead and drop that one. So we should get 8n cubed over m to the 7th. So let's go ahead and write it out the long way. So we got negative 8. Got to drop this one and drop this one. So we still have our negative n times n on top. And then m times m times m times 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 7 m's on bottom, which is the same here. 3 n's on top, which is the same here. And negative 8 times negative 1 gave us that positive 8 right there. So there's my answer. Okay, so I suggest pausing the video here and then trying these ones and then checking to see if you get the same answer as me. All right, so this is the same as 5c to the 4th times 1c to the 6th because there's always a 1 in front. So we got 5 times 1, which is 5. Then we got to add our bases that are the same. So 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, this one, we got x cubed and x to the negative 2, so 3 plus negative 2 is just x. And then we got y to the 4th and y. Well, this is the same thing as 1, remember, so 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, we're going to do our k's for this one, so negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Our i's, negative 2 plus 4 is just 2. And then our m's. So 6 plus 0 is just 6. Well, remember, it's not reduced all the way because k to the 0 is the same thing as 1. So we got I squared and m to the 6th. Okay, we got coefficients in the front. So we got negative 8 times negative 2, which is 16. We got some a's here, so 3 plus 5 is going to be a to the 5th. And then we got some b's, so 2 plus negative 3 should give us, a negative 1. Can't have a negative exponent, so we got to drop it. Got to drop it like it's hot. So we're going to get this.